Alright, let's get this set up properly. Hello there, Dylan. Hope you are doing well today. Just gotta make sure music isn't too loud. I'm gonna turn that down just a hair bit more. Something like that should be good. Yeah. Okay, all the important numbers look good, so I think we are good to go. Welcome everybody to part 3 of whatever this is turning out to be. Just a random desire I had one day that spiraled out into just multi-hour long streams of talking about Pokemon design, but hey, what do you know, it's fun. For anybody just joining us, this is basically just me trying to figure out what the hell I feel about Pokemon designs live. Because, like, I've always known that I'm not terribly fond of the later generations, but it's so hard to put to words. There's so much just subconscious nostalgia and kind of just indifference towards the later generations. I never have to actually go through these thought processes, so I figured this would be a great way to do that. Maybe even like I'm kind of considering after all of these videos are done, I can like compile all the information I've gathered and make some like Pokemon design brainstorm about just like, okay, here's all the cool things, here's all the things that could be better, and just like go from there. Could be a lot of fun. Finally, a 7.8 region. Out of 7, yes, you understand why 8-Bit Wiseman, you understand. Telling me to continue Generation 3 before putting it. It has its flaws, I will admit, but like this is the one generation that I am just absolutely in love with. This is my childhood nostalgia generation. I adore Generation 3. It's got a lot of my favorite Pokemon. But I've never really thought about them in terms of, like, their visual designs. It's more just been like, oh yeah, this was a cool one I used in my childhood. Oh, so was this one. So was this one. So we'll see how this goes today. Hey, Carson. Hope you are doing well. Oh, and happy birthday! I hope your day treats you as well as you deserve to be, because you are cool, my friend. Okay, anything I want to go over before I start off? I guess I'll really quickly just kind of show the other tier lists real quick, because I have been, like, minorly tweaking them as we've been going on. I don't think there's been anything extremely major. But it's kind of like those moments of being like, I don't know if I want to put Gengar that low, or I don't know, maybe I'll move Zubat up 2 spaces, that kind of stuff, So nothing too extreme. And there's Generation 2 as well. I'll talk about this for a second here. I'm loving doing these streams because it gets my eyes open on Pokemon I just never really cared about before. Because, like, little Heracross right here, I've never paid much attention to it. Growing up, it was just, okay, there's another bug Pokemon that's not as cool as Scyther, and just completely edited it out of my memory. But having people point out to me, like, no, it's a stag beetle. They, like, fight each other. They're grapplers. It's a fighting-type Pokemon. That's kind of brilliant, and I've never thought about it that way. So I'm really enjoying this just to get more in-depth looks at various Pokemon like that. So I'm curious to see if there will be any of those in Generation 3. So let's get started, shall we? I'm not going to go over the tier lists here. Because, like, I've already done 2 streams. I'm sure people get the general gist of things. And starting, of course, with the Treecko line. Now, depending on the day you'll ask me, the Treecko line are my favorite Pokemon in the entirety of the series, bar none. Treecko, Grovyle, Sceptile, they're my favorite grass types, they're my favorite starters, and oftentimes just my favorite Pokemon in general. I think the designs... How do I put this? I think Treecko is just as shiny. It doesn't quite get up into Pokerus, because I don't see that... It doesn't quite have that elemental connection. It's kind of just kind of leans into the, it's a grass type because it's green. Does kind of have the bush tail, I guess. What did I put Squirtle? Squirtle's in, like, B tier, right? Yeah, it's better than Squirtle, but it doesn't quite hit that S tier that I'm looking for with me. Still a great Pokemon, but not quite there. Grovyle is an easy S tier. Holy shit, Grovyle's the best of the three. I love that kind of flying squirrel vibe it has going for it, or like those really old... Oh, I can't remember the names of the dinosaurs. The feathered lizards. You know all what I'm talking about. It really gets the vibe of a raptor with like these really cool leafy flourishes on it. Grovyle's amazing. Sceptile, my heart is screaming S tier. But the tree... The tree butt has always just weirded me out a little bit. It's too... Let me get a bigger picture real quick. Grovyle, you're perfect. I love you. Just how symmetrical and... I feel like if it just tapered off, I'd absolutely adore it. But this is kind of just... I say that, but at the same time, I love the little bulbs along its back. I have no idea what they're supposed to be, but they give that kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, like a tree growing fruit or seeds, and I really love that. I love the leaf blades on its arms. Give me some more action poses. Not talking about Mega... It's so square, I think is the issue. Like, this shot right here, this shot's great. I love this one. I feel like if Sceptile had Mega Sceptile's tail, it would be easy. Like, I'm debating between S and A, to be clear. I think I'm going to put Sceptile in very high A. I might move it to S later. I don't want to quite, but we'll come back to Sceptile, obviously. Sure, they're meant to be bombs or a sort of projectile. I remember from Pokken that they would kind of open up and, like, this grassy green energy shell, almost like it's where Sunbeam comes from, which is a neat thing. They can kind of bloom. The fact that it was in Pokemon helps it tremendously. And any Pokemon that's had its abilities really fleshed out in a 3D environment just really helps really just show their personality and their traits and all this cool stuff. Torchic's head is so big. Just a little tease at just the ridiculous, we're going to design this for plushies and nothing else starters that would come for later generations. As far as a design, like, it kind of has got like a flame crest going for it, but there's not much... Let me check the Pokedex entries real quick, because I think if I remember, there's got like a... Space fire over, fireballs. I thought it left flaming footprints behind it. It launches fireballs of 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. Sure, Pokemon. Okay. I think Torchic, like, it's still good. Most of these designs are still good. We're not at near the point where Pokemon starter designs are going to start to dip. I think this one's just... It's another Squirtle-like design for me, where I think it's absolutely adorable. But it doesn't quite get me with that same element-creature combination that other ones do. Yeah, exactly, Carson. It feels like another bird with nothing truly to call unique. Oh yeah, that is the Score Bunny thing for the flaming footprints. Right. Combuskin? Combuskin is a penis. And the moment you see that, the moment its design goes down a couple of tiers. Running across the fields and put speed and power on at 10 kicks. And gets into those kind of... Just, I've talked about this in both the other streams. I can't stand just fighting type lore where any kind of world building to make them fit into the Pokemon universe is just tossed aside to be like, oh, this thing can kick really, really good. It doesn't outright upset me. Like, I think it's still fine. Well, even then. I'm not entirely fond of just the really basic 3 claws. And it is kind of just stretched awkwardly. And again, there's nothing fiery there. Nah, I'm putting in frustration. I don't like Combuskin. Blaziken. Okay, now this is one that I really need to, like, get my thoughts on straight. Because I've never liked Blaziken. And like, I see why other people enjoy the design. Like, it is a sick design. Weird bell-bottom pants, the sleek crest, and just the swoosh of the rabbit ears, I guess. Claws are a lot better than Combuskin's. But I have never felt this one. Give me some action. For one thing, the weird dick crest kind of deal, that's always weirded me out. I don't like that. I've never been particularly fond of humanoid Pokemon in general. Just gets into that weird uncanny valley of just... where it becomes less creature fighting and more just... The level of sentience feels like it's getting higher, and it feels worse and worse to be stuffing these creatures into Pokeballs. And again, there's not... It's kind of just fiery because it's red, and I can't stand stuff like that. Like, if this was Mega Blaziken's much better, because it's got, like, the weird fiery gauntlets, you know? Yeah, and again, all the Pokedex entries are just... Look how good this thing jumps! It just looks like a chicken Fursona. Yeah. At the same time, it does at least... Like, it's still... I'll give it points for still clearly not being humanoid in terms of the face. Like, I really like the beak, really like the crest, really like the swoosh. I think if the rest of its body was a little less, like, just human. And just, let me see some sprites for this one. That just... I want to figure out what I would do differently, is why I'm spending so much time here. Because if I try to criticize something and I can't express how it would be better, I don't think that criticism is very valid. I don't think it's very valuable. Oh, I definitely agree with you, Philip, that it feels like one of the better humanoid Pokemon. He looks like a Skylander. He totally does. This one's a little better. That's a nice action pose than the 5th generation. I think maybe if it had, like, crane legs, like, I think it's the bell-bottom pants that are weirding me out here. Like, if it was extended tremendously... Well, probably not tremendously, but if it was more... just like a fighting crane kind of deal, much thinner with maybe, like, fiery feet or something like that, that might be better, in my eyes. Yeah, it's the pants for me. It's definitely... What the hell? Look at this, hold on. I can't get any closer than that. Why is it so, like... Why has it got piranha plant feet? It's 3D sprites. It's just got little nubs that's standing on. That's hilarious. I can't quite feel indifferent to it. I think there's too many strong elements of the design to give it like an indifferent or average rating, but this is going to be at like the very bottom of B tier. Because I wouldn't be upset if I got a Blaziken. I'd just be weirded out by it constantly. Mudkip. Mudkip's an adorable... One of those fascinating designs where they try to take, like, aquatic traits and transplant those onto more of a land-based... Kind of that Slowpoke vibes. And I adore that. I absolutely adore Mudkip. What creature is it based off of exactly? Mud puppies, yeah. I think baseline Mudkip. Am I really gonna put Mudkip over Sceptile? Am I about? I think I'm about to do that. I think both Mudkip and Swampert are absolutely excellent. Just giving this, like, strange, weird blend of just this water-ground mud shark tank thingamabobber. Swampert's so cool. I can't even remember what this thing's name is, though. The middle evolution. Marshtomp. Marshtomp just... right up there with... I think Croconaw from Gen 2, it's just one of those absolutely bizarre, just like, okay, we're definitely going to try to speedrun this to Swampert, aren't we? It's not as abrasive as Croconaw's, like, it doesn't have the stupid diaper or anything like that. Actually, yeah, now I'm saying that, it's definitely above at least Combuskin. But, like, this dopey little thing, it does have a little bit of charm. Let me see some sprites. 1 second. It doesn't have the... Nope, the sprites don't do it any favors, and the models are even worse. Oh, look at those dead eyes. Oh, they know we're suffering. I do appreciate the glow box coloration, though. Like, I always name my Mudkip's glow box. It's dopey, is why I love it. It's why Whooper is great. I do see the vibes, so I feel like Whooper sells it so much better than Marshtomp. Poochyena. Poochyena's a very, very simple design, like... But I do appreciate trying to make a... kind of... They're starting to diversify the basic starting Pokemon a little bit here by making a basic Dark type, and it's just a little aggressive little hound. I think low B is the highest a design like this could possibly get, but like it's a good design. It's a good dog. Mightyena is pretty cool. But again, it's just a dog. It's an edgy dog. I do appreciate it as an edgy dog. But at the same, give me some sprites. Are there any particularly cool sprites? Yeah, like it's aggressive, but it's another one of those evolutions that we're finally back to the two evolution curse. We kind of skipped it with Generation 2. But this is one of the... Yeah, exactly, Doxero. It's weird that this one hasn't gotten another evolution yet. Give it maybe, like... I keep saying Cerberus design for so many of these, but, like, it's a good way of, like, making a Pokemon more aggressive. I don't know. I want more from this thing. I like him on the Blaziken. I'll keep it there. Zigzagoon I adore, though. Just an adore... They finally start trying to be a little more ambitious with the basic designs here. Being like, okay, yeah, it's just a raccoon, but we can do a little bit more than that. Let's make this cute little pinecone-esque design for the Zigzagoon. And you know, I really, really appreciate that. I don't think it quite... Well... You know what? Yeah, I think Zigzagoon is an A-tier design. I think this is... Yeah, I'm trying to go through my brain real quick. I don't think there's a better HM Slave design than Zigzagoon. I think this is the best one across every single Pokemon generation. It's so full of personality. There's a reason that it got the Galarian form. It's because it's a good design. Linoone kind of loses a bit of that charm. I do appreciate the Appa colorations a lot. But Zigzagoon was a really fun, like, little twist on a raccoon, and this is just Ferret. I guess it would be a Minx, technically. Bidoof exists? Nah. Zigzagoon's better than Bidoof. Like, I appreciate the memes behind Bidoof, but as a design, nah, Zigzagoon's better. Yeah, no, I always feel disappointed when I evolve my Zigzagoons into a Linoone. Like, we eventually get that fixed in Generation 8 with Obstagoon, but even then, that's only for the Galarian variant, and that's really heavily tied. Just a very narrow theme. It doesn't upset me, but this is just a C tier. It's fine. It's fine. Same with Wurmple. Like, it's a bug. Not particularly cute, not particularly aggressive. It's just kinda there. It can't really emote at all. Well, actually, before I say that, let me see if there's any attempts in any of these shots. Yeah, no, it's too dead-eyed for me. Putting it up beneath Linoone. I do appreciate what it evolves into, but no. Silcoon and Cascoon are two... I appreciate them having different cocoons, but knowing the contrast between Metapod and Kakuna in the first generation, this just feels a little bit lazy. And nothing really... Well, hold on. I was about to say, nothing about it really screams any particular... Okay, hold on. I want to Google this real quick. Silcoon... Cocoon... No, Silkworm Cocoon. Because if it's based off of, like, an actual cocoon, I'll give it a few points. Yeah, okay, but, like, what... I don't understand the spikes. They feel so plastered on there. They're not plentiful enough to really defend it. It's just, I'm putting him in frustration. They're not particularly fun. The evolved forms, though, these are so good. I love both of these so much. Dustox and Silcoon, Dustox and Beautifly are some really good bugs. I love the little weird proboscis it's got coming out of its face, because they could have gone with just a basic, like, really cute butterfly Pokemon, but they let it be a little weird. They really embraced the bug side. You know, actually looking at that, no, this is... I love Beautifly. Beautifly is a great bug. And you know what? I think Dustox deserves to be up there, too. I love both of these two so much. They're so... I think this is the best... What's the word I'm looking for? Dichotomy between two different bug choices in a game. Like, Beedrill and Butterfree, but they kind of both fall off in various ways, but both of these two are just, they're so fun. The colors are great. They're so distinct from each other, but still come from the same spot. One's very elegant, the other one's just Dustox. Very weird. but they both get across what they're trying to do. I absolutely adore that. It does kind of annoy me that the Pokemon took so long to start combining Bug with, like, other elements of Pokemon. Like, these are still just like, oh yeah, this is the flying bugs, these are the poison bugs, they're doing the bug things you'd expect the bugs to do. It's gonna take a long time to get away from that, but I think for, like, base Pokemon bugs, these are great. The Lotad line. Base Lotad is just... Gosh, how do I even... This little weird simplistic frog. I think it's just a little too simplistic for me. Just a bit. I think it's like... Maybe like here. I appreciate the good fusion between leaf and water. I think it's really well done. But I want just a little bit more from the bottom half, other than just sphere with nubs and mouth. Just like 15% more, you know? And you get that with Lombre. I think Lombre is significantly better. Actually gets starts communicating the point of what this Pokemon is. Like, it's a kind of a mimic kind of deal with the leaf pad on its head, but then it grows up into this... You know what? I don't actually know what Lombre is supposed to be. Like, Lotad's pretty clearly just some sort of amphibian. This is some weird water gremlin thing. Oh, it's a Capdot! It's almost like it's got a lily pad as a cap. I like it more than Treecko. Yeah, Lombre's great. Lombre's great. Just a little guy with a cool hat. Indeed, indeed. Ludicolo, though. Well, what? What a charismatic Pokemon. This is one of the best ways to... I would compare Ludicolo to Quaquaval, I think his name is, in the 9th generation. Of, like, trying to take some fun inspirations from real-world culture and real-world places, but not really heavily committing to it. Like, it's still clearly some weird duck-like creature. It's way too rotund to be mistaken for any kind of, like, just human in I guess a duck costume. Where Quaquaval commits way too hard to just being like, oh yes, this is a Brazilian dancer, aren't we so clever? Ludicolo actually tries to take, like, the cultural elements that it's based off of and tries to actively combine them with the actual mythological and animalistic characteristics it has. Ludicolo is a fantastic Pokemon. I absolutely love it. I'm putting it up here. This is an S-tier design. One of the most expressive Pokemon in the entire series, absolutely. Fantastic Watergrass. You know what? Gen 3 had a lot of great grass Pokemon. Because then we get to the Seedot line. And you know what? For just being an Acorn, this is a pretty good Acorn. Like, somehow they gave a literal Acorn just a little bit of spunk, a little bit of personality. It's still very much one of those, like a Mightyena. Like, it peaks as high as it can go. But, like, I think it's impressive that you can make a B-tier Acorn design. But then it starts to evolve. You get Nuzleaf. Which is just this weird, fascinating, like, bark sprite kind of deal. Like, I love the early generations of Pokemon so much when it comes to grass-type Pokemon. Because they have so many interesting choices of, like, okay, how are we going to combine a plant with this creature? How are we going to combine a plant with this creature? The nipples are weird. I'm not fond of the nipples. and they do definitely take it down a notch. But considering what it results in, I'm willing to give this some credit. I don't like it quite as much as the Acorn, but like, it's still good because it lets Shiftry exist. And Shiftry's awesome. Shiftry is so cool. Just this weird, bizarre, Treecko-esque, just like, okay, there's this predatory creature hunting other grass types in the... it's so cool. I love Shiftry so much. Is a bit blocky. I'm not fond of the constantly angry expression, you know? Can I see a few more, like, expressions anywhere? I've also never noticed the weird feet. What is up with that? I know what it's based off of. Like those weird, I think it's Japanese shoes with the blocks. So I'm kind of, I've never noticed the feet before. It's still a cool design. I'm gonna put it below the bugs, though. Don't think it quite gets that high. Can never remember if it's Tail or... It's Tail is the first one, then Swallow is the second one. Tail is just a bird. This is the birdiest bird that has ever did bird. I think it's still a... Like, it's a nice, expressive bird. But it's just a bird. And then Swellow, interesting to only have a 2-stage bird Pokemon this generation. I don't know if that was ever done again. To have the only option be that. And Swallow is... I like the weird, super sharp, super thin razor feathers it's got coming off of it. It does have a very nice color balance, I'll give it that. This is a beautiful bird. I think, like, you know, we'll keep these, like, the Poochyena and the Mightyena of this generation next to each other. I think Swallow's better than Mightyena, though. It's a better bird than Torchic, too, for that matter. But I do think Tailo is a better bird than Poochyena is a dog. Actually, and they're both better than Azurill for that record. Nipples are very weird. Oh, right, Hoot and Knockowl. That was the other one. Yeah. My mistake. Wingull. Wingull's perfectly straight wings have always weirded me out a little bit. The fact that they have to either be, like, fully extended or weirdly bent, depending on the sprite you're looking at. Also, it's a very... Another one of those many Pokemons where, like, okay, we gotta make a water bird. We'll get the bird that's water. We did it, guys. Like, it's fine. It's not a bad design. And it is a little goofy, too. I'm just kind of trying to mentally compare it to Tailo. I'm gonna put them next to each other for a little bit, just to really... I think I like Tailo a little bit more. Just a little bit. It's, again, still fine. Still fine. But nothing particularly impressive about it. Pelipper, though, is such a goofy Pokemon. Just, okay, we're gonna take a pelican's beak and just really expand on that design and just push it to the absolute limit. And it's so So funny. Like, look at that expression. That is the expression of something that's going to try to eat anything that can fit in its mouth. And I love that. I love that. I think it's quite S tier for me. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's a fun design, but it doesn't quite reach those upper echelons for me. It's just fun. It's fun. Good, goofy Pokemon. Ralts is fantastic. Just copy and paste what I said about Abra. The same thing applies to Ralts. I miss these older generation psychic Pokemon where they just kind of created these weird creatures that just feel really otherworldly, like they don't really belong here, but they still do in a fascinating way. No idea what these weird crests are on its head, but they're great. I love them. Also the weird green thing that's both a cap and hair. It's great. Love it. Kirlia kinda loses that for me. They took the unknowable creature and gave it something knowable by making it a dancer, and I'm not as fond of that. Like the way it's just constantly on its tippy toes. Always dancing around. It commits a little too hard to one aspect of it, and it does lower the design in my eyes just a tiny bit. It's not bad. It's still not bad. But, I think Blaziken, at the very least, Blaziken does a better humanoid Pokemon, more so than Kirlia. I like Lotad more. I think both of these birds are more fun. Well, There's good. There's good. Gardevoir. It's so hard to separate this Pokemon from just the general internet culture around it. Because to be honest, I really like Gardevoir as a design. It kind of goes back towards the whole kind of unknowable thing that Ralts had going to it. Just kind of this weird, elegant, almost like a, I look at this and I just think of like just kind of Lady of the Water, spirit you'd see in the mist kind of deal. Gets that kind of alien vibe back to it, which I appreciate. But then there's just so many odd things about the design. Like, I don't... Why the single boob crest? That one's always weirded me out. And once you start seeing the legs, I wish it didn't have the legs. That would fix so many of the general weirdness I feel about this Pokemon. And shots like this, just the big anime eyes. It's this weird thing of like, you're trying to make this look attractive and it's just kind of weirding me out. And I have no idea how to rank this. Well, let's start with Blaziken, because I do think Gardevoir is a better humanoid Pokemon than Blaziken is. But if it didn't have legs, then how would people make art of it? Easily! They'd probably just give it legs, even if it didn't have them, let's be honest. I think it's better than Mightyena. think it's better than Torchic. I think Swellow blocks it, because there's too much weirdness to Gardevoir's design for me to put it in the A or S tiers. What's the... I want to see if the Pokédex explains the crust at all. Use all its psychic power to create a small black hole. It has very fun Pokédex entries. I'll give it points for that, but... Again, it's... Also, there's the effect it had on later generations that I really don't like. Where Gardevoir is fine, later feminine Pokemon will get progressively weirder and weirder. Now, I think this is fine. I think this is a good place for Gardevoir, in terms of the design. I like it, but there's a few small tweaks that I feel like would really make it so much better. Surskit's okay. I know what it's based off of, and that's cute. But it's a very simplistic, just a little water skipper kind of deal. So just the single little... It's always looked like just hair to me. But hair that you could like just grab the little top of it and pop it off, and you'll just be able to like keep things inside of Circuit. Like it's a little like container. I don't know. It's an odd little guy, but it's cute. I do like it. Almost Waddle Dee-esque. And just like, okay, yeah, it has no mouth, it has no discernible features, but it's just kind of cute. I think it is cute better than Lotad does Dobby. But it's not as cool as our almighty Acorn. Yeah, somewhere right there, somewhere right there. Masquerain sucks, for one. I don't particularly care about that. I do like the weird eyeball-like designs on its wings. But the weird... It's a very bizarre design that I'm not quite sure what it's going for, because like it's got the wings that are also ears, but it also has secondary wings, and it's got this weird proboscis, but it's very clearly not a proboscis. It does have an awesome name. You are right there, Pierre. I'll give you that. Also, such a bizarre design to have another bug flying when you already have such a good bug flying. And you can do a lot of cool things with bug water. Like, you could have done some neat stuff with that. I do appreciate this little one right here. Just using the secondary wings as... The big wings are fake. Oh yeah, I know. Has Intimidate? Oh, that's fun. Okay. That's a little something. That's a little something. It has a biblical angel vibe, kind of. But it doesn't commit anywhere near hard enough for that. Okay. I've been trying to figure out what was bugging me, and I got it. I don't like how this on its face is just like a texture. Like, there's no depth to this little frontal face thingabob at all. I can't stand it when Pokemon do that. It just kind of looks like it looks like a very poorly animated shot where I tried to animate the mouth opening, but it went too far and it's starting to clip into the eyes. Like, it just looks like it's smiling so heavily that it's got its eyes in its mouth at this point. It definitely doesn't get the high echelons that the other two bugs do. And I think based on... I don't like it as much as Surskit. I can at least put it there. Maybe here? Why is Masquerain giving me so much problems? This would be a great Bomberman enemy. I can see it, yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna be kind of moving this around for a bit just to see. That feels a little bit better. Yeah, okay. I appreciate the idea it's going for, but it doesn't quite land it for me. It's got almost Golding vibes for me, in that matter. Shroomish is fantastic. Just this goofy little Kirby mushroom that's just kind of done with its day all the time. So many fantastic grass Pokemon in this generation. Also a very unique attitude for a Pokemon. You don't see very many with this kind of expression on it. It kind of gives that vibe of it. It's just an office worker going to its 9 to 5. It's been going to the same job for 15 years. And it's just kind of trundling through life. But it's very charming. I really like Shroomish. And then Breloom is such a cool design. Like, holy shit, this is so creative. It has so many different pieces that are clearly harkening to like a grass-type origin, but at the same time, it's this really weird Velociraptor kind of design as well. This thing's amazing. I like this more than Grovyle. It's so weird, and I adore it for that. What is this? Is it something like based off of something specific, or were they just that creative? I know it's berries, nail trees, reminiscent of concert, hats, wide brims, boxing kangaroo. Like, you have to try to pull for so many things to try to explain its origin, just because it's so unique, it's so weird. They clearly just built something new off of this, and I really respect Breloom for that. Slackoff's funny. I don't know what else to say about that. It's a sloth. I love sloths. Slackoff is funny. Yeah, with Shroomish. It's in that funny category. I enjoy it. I also really love... This is one of my favorite middle evolutions. I really just love the progression from just, oh, I'm so tired as a baby, to, oh, I'm a really hyped up teenager, to the adult going like, you know what, no, sleep is better. I was right all along. Like, it's that one bar graph meme of just, like novice, expert, and the people who think they know everything at the top, where the people who are experts go back to how they were at the beginning and realize, like, no, yeah, no, how people initially approached this was the right thing all along. I think I put Fearoth. It's a fun design, but it is very much just it's a very fun monkey. Yeah, kind of in this Pelipper. There's the fun pelican, there's the fun monkey. I'd want a little something in either, like, the... Well, actually, before I say that, I should probably check the Pokedex entries first. Yeah, it's just always... hyper-aggressive. Yeah. It doesn't quite hit that Snorlax levels of brilliant design at the top of it. Yeah, why does it have hot sauce hair? Because monkeys. You've seen, like, baboons with their, like, crests. It fits. But then slacking gets there for me. Slacking, yeah. Here, maybe? Just kind of that similar... I would never put this, like, to compare to the Gen 1 list, I wouldn't put it as high as Snorlax, but it gets kind of that similar vibe of just like, oh yeah, it's a basic type normal, just basic-ass normal Pokemon, but it will squash you easily, but it's so lazy that it just doesn't really want to. I love the design. This is one of the few times I'll mention, like, the actual, like, in-game stats and abilities, but everything involving Truant offsetting its ridiculously powerful stats. This thing is so powerful. It's got, like, legendary level stats, but it only attacks every other turn. Like, that's so funny. Actually, I'm putting it a little higher for that. I might put it next to Snorlax, actually, now that I'm saying that out loud. It's a really fun design. I really like it. Nincada's fun. I've never understood why its feelers are coming out of the bottom of its head. Like, it almost looks upside down. Like, I could easily believe that these little legs could just flip around and it would walk around properly. What's it based off of? I might feel better if I... Okay, Cicada Nymph. 1 second. Cicada... Nymph. Is there a method to this madness, or is it just kind of weird? It's fine. It's fine. I like Surskit more than that. I like Lotad more than it as well. I like Curly more than it. I do like it more than Masquerain. There we go. There we go. Are those feels? Yeah, that's the thing, Pierre. I have no idea. It's such a... such a very simplistic design that you just don't quite know what it's... quite what it's going for. But then it evolves into Ninjask, and Ninjask is such a sick design. Look at this thing. Just look at it. Look at the sprites. They're even better. Look how threatening this thing looks. It's so cool. Putting it right up there with the other bugs. Like, I'll get on Pokemon's case for not trying to do, like, some fun elemental combinations with the bugs for a very long time, but these are just, oh, they're so much fun. And as if that wasn't enough, the brilliance, something they'll never do again, is Shedinja. This is so cool. I love this Pokemon so much. Just taking the idea of, like, oh yeah, it shed its skin and became a Ninjask, but what happens to the shed skin? That's so cool. Do I like this more than Breloom? I might like this more than Breloom. This is such a brilliant design. And on top of that, having the cool ability of Wonder Guard, which again... there's just not much of that. Being like this really weird, like, oh yeah, I only have 1 hit point, but you can't hit me with most things. I love Shedinja. That's such a fun design. Perfect marriage of the natural phenomenon that would create the shed skin like that, tying that to the ghost type idea in Pokemon, and creating a really fun ability to go along with it at the same time. It's so good. You know, just for enabling that, I'm putting Ninjask a little higher, too. Easy S tier Pokemon. Love it so much. Whismur, not as much. It's an odd one. Is this one of the ones that has... Yeah, why does a Pokemon have a butthole? Why? Is there a Pokedex entry for this? I know it's kind of like its whole point is it's like a speaker. That's what it evolves into. No, it's just got a butthole. Is it based off of anything mythological, or just no? It's just got like the obvious like rabbit ears, and is kind of a stuffed animal. Nah. Oh, that's a good... I'm not going to consider that, because that's not really what I'm talking about here, but I do absolutely adore that little tie-in of the anime Jigglypuff finally finding a friend that won't fall asleep because of soundproof. That's cute. I do enjoy that. But Whismur's actual design is just kind of weirded me out. I actually like Loudred a lot more. I think this thing's got some spunk. Takes that whole joke that Golbat was going for of whatever was screaming but louder and actually makes a cohesive design out of it. I like the that the ears are clearly based off of speakers, but they're not... It's not like it's holding two speakers on its shoulders or anything like that. It's still its ears. I don't know, this one works for me. This one works for me. I think it's fun. Do we join the fun tier with you? I think we join the fun tier. Like this little corner right here. By spunk, do you mean rudely waking you up at 7 a.m.? Yeah, exactly. But then I think Exploud goes a little too far. This thing feels over-designed. Like, I get the idea. Like, it's kind of got, like, pipe organs coming off of it, but there's just too much going on here. Like, do you really need the elbow slots and the knee slots and whatever these jet engines are on your butt? Like, you see this thing from the back and just, what's going on here? Yeah, this is... Ugh, no. No, you're going... I think you might go all the way down here. I do not like you, Exploud. Just keep Loudred. Loudred's more fun. It needs to poo too. It needs to really launch that apparently then. It's got 2 cannons prepared. If there was... I just had a mental image. If there's ever a Pokemon RTS, I'm just picturing a Loudred hunkering up and going into siege mode like a Terran siege tank. That's awful. I'm sorry. You know, I'll talk a lot of shit on fighting types in this series, but I like Makuhita. Makuhita's this weird... Like, it's clearly based on a sumo wrestler, but it has this... It kind of looks almost mimicky. I think with the little bow, it almost looks like a trash bag, honestly. Trash bag with boxing gloves. Is this based on... Yeah, well, yeah, obviously a sumo wrestler. It's very clearly based off of a fighting style. I almost compare it to Ludicolo, although not nearly to the same extent. That it's clearly based off of something in human culture, but it's not so humanoid that it becomes a little weird. Like, you can still kind of see its existing in nature. I think I talked about this last stream, but it's one of those designs that you can almost see, like, humanity seeing it and being inspired off of it. I'd say the same about Ludicolo as well. Some's live. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Kind of like that. It feels like something that could exist in the Pokemon world, which I appreciate. I'm putting it up in the fun tier. At the bottom of it, though. I think it's quite as good as any of the rest of these ones. But I think it's good. I think it's still good. Well... There. That feels better. That feels better. Hariyama... Kind of the same deal. Like, again, very obvious parallels to sumo wrestling. But it's so not humanoid. It's so wide. The hands are so big. It's got the weird... I have to call them ear holes, but those are actually probably just, like... Well, How do I feel about the E-Honda Pokemon? I need to think about this a little harder. Because I've always kind of liked it, but I think that's because this is one of the, like, true, honest shinies I've ever found in a Pokemon game, which has massively boosted it in my eyes. Start dragging it around a little bit, just see how I feel. Yeah, let's easy place to start. Do I like it more than Makihita? I think so. I think I like it more than Gardevoir. No. Doesn't beat... Well, I think here... Like, for fighting-type Pokemon, I think these are some of the better ones. There's still a little bit of an oddity there, but it's still fun. I don't feel weird using it. This is a Pokemon that still feels like it fits within the world. Oh gosh, what is even your name? Azumarill? I always get this one and the... Azurill. You know, I'll give this baby Pokemon credit. At least it tries to do something. Like, so many... I'll go back to the Gen 2 list for a second. So many of these little baby Pokemon just don't do anything with the ideas they started with. Cleffa, what are you doing there? Get down. Honestly, Magby too. You're not doing enough fun. But anyways, like, they're just smaller versions of Pokemon that already really only had one thing going for them. But Azurill at least tries to do something weird with the bouncy tail. It's still the same size when it's young, but its body is much smaller, so it kind of bounces around on it. I'll give it points for the creativity. I think that's cute. Gives a vibe of it growing into it. Which I appreciate. I like that. I like that. Friendly reminder that until Gen 6, 1 out of 3 female Azurills evolved into male Marirills due to a coding error. No, I believe you. I believe you. That's hilarious. I gave it kind of Torchic-esque vibes. Maybe like right here? Right here. Yeah. I appreciate they at least tried to do something with it. Nosepass. How I rank this is going to really heavily depend on if there's... I know kind of like the Easter Island. Yeah, the Moai. Maui, I think is... How do you say that? Moi? Okay, now wait, hold on. I've never thought about this like this, but Its nasal compass may be based on the expression "follow one's nose," which I do kind of like that, actually. That's really funny. Oh, gosh, I've never liked Nosepass, but to be fair, that is because I just can't stand Probopass's design. Just the weird bushy mustache weirds me out. But base Nosepass, with that context, I might... Sabotage by having the ugliest strength is... Oh, wait, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, just that one, like, it's gripping its head. It's so desaturated. Yeah, This is one of those Heracrosses situations where didn't really care much about it, but with further context, I really love that. That's so funny. Follow your nose being designed into a literal compass Pokemon that uses its nose to find north. That's really fun. I'll put it at the bottom. Well, I do think you could do better with the design, is what's kind of hanging me up right now. If that was your goal. Maybe there. Yeah, that feels better. That feels better. But I was fully prepared to put that in D tier. That's hilarious, though. Skitty's just a cat. It's just... What do you want from me? Wait, hold on. I guess, is there any Pokedex? Tastefully places off its own tail. Makes its tail puff out. Can't stop chasing its moving things. Oh yeah, wow, it's a cat. The cat does cat things. It is at least a cute cat. It emotes. I'll put it above Wurmple. Is the tail based on anything? Okay, yeah, when you get to this vague of references, it might be foxtail grass or a pin holder, maybe. Nah, that's a swing and a miss. Delkenny is still a cat. It's a purple cat. I do like purple more. Anything fun with this one? Pokedex? Any little nice tidbits? Prefers to live an unfettered existence when it can do what it pleases. It's a cat. Sleeps anywhere it wants to. It's a cat. Dislikes dirty places. It's a cat. Yeah, no, same placements. I'll give it slight more points because I think the little crest does better than the weirdness of the tail. But that's just a cat. That's just a cat. Sableye is pretty cool. I do like Sableye. This weird gem gremlin kind of deal. Just kind of building off of that idea of little goblins hiding in caves, but making it a literal rock ghost kind of deal. This is such a good ghost-type Pokemon. That's an easy S tier. Get up there, buddy. Like, that's a no-brainer. Just building off the myths of goblins and ghosts and all that kind of thing. These weird, gritty creatures that are hiding in the darkness, waiting to prey upon any unsuspecting miners that delve too deeply. It's great. I love this guy. Sableye would write bad reviews of a video game just to lower the Metacritic score. Oh, that's great. That's really good. Oh, absolutely, Dr. Zeus. Whenever we get to the Mega Evolution, that'll get ranked highly, too. I can't quite say the same thing about Mawile. A very... Oh yeah, hold on. This is when I need a Pokedex entry. I need to know what's actually the proper face. Or if it's just this little 2-foot girl that's got a giant mouth growing out of her head. Steel horns, they've been transformed, so I think just to lull its foes into letting its guard down. Very dangerous. If it was a fake face, I'd give it points. Any neat mythological ties? Historical? Oh, okay. Based on the Japanese legend, the Futokuchi Onna, a woman with a mouth on the back of her head. Alright, I do appreciate things like that. I love my mythological ties to Pokemon. I just wish it wasn't... This is one of those so human-esque ones. It just kind of weirds me out there. And the mouth is almost too big. Oh, you know what I would have loved a lot more? If it kind of had like an alien xenomorph kind of hidden mouth deal on the back of its head that would open out. Like if this thing was hidden somehow and then suddenly shot out and chomped down on you, that'd be pretty cool. But as it stands, it's too big. I think is my biggest just offness with this. The proportions are weird to the point that it just looks too bizarre for my tastes. I like Curly more than you, that's for sure. Like this Pokemon for God of War, if the dress opened up to reveal teeth. So I remember that thumbnail of Alpharad. That's the God of War and the Victory Bell fusion in Pokemon Infinite Fusion. No. Actually, you know what the answer is here? That feels a little bit better. The nipples do weird me out. I like Basic Cat more than Nipple Gremlin. Though I will say that I like Giant Steel Flytrap more than I do Nipple Gremlin. You know, I think I like it more than Basic Cat too. At least that's an idea. It's weird, but at least it's an idea. I can respect it for being an idea. I'm dropping U-Bot and Flanoon as well. Yes. Okay. That feels better. Aron! I like Aron. Just this really weird iron tank turtle kind of deal. It's a little too... just a tad too nubbish, if that makes any sense. I wish it had just a little bit of leg instead of just the nubs. But I like it. It's a good steel type. I can believe that this is a naturally evolving steel type Pokemon. I like the sandbag more than I do you, though. Someone right here? Yeah. It could get higher pretty easily for me. I just think it's a little too simplistic to get much higher. Lairon, though. Lairon's so cool. Like, this is cool for the similar reasons that Rhyhorn is cool. I think this is a fantastic Steel-type Pokemon. Here? Here. Yeah. Just a badass dinosaur with these really cool interlocking plates. Kind of gives you armadillo vibes. Like, it's just really cool. I love it. And then tell me if I'm wrong for thinking this. I don't like Aron as much. Kind of for the similar reasons, like going all the way back to Generation 1 with Rhyhorn and Rhydon. I feel like there was something cool happening here, but then it kind of just went for the same direction of just all of these other Godzilla-esque kaiju Pokemon. Like, I know I keep saying a clubbed tail would make this so cool, but could we really not have done just, like, some really cool, like, Triceratops-esque or Stegosaurus-esque thing? Just a huge, mountainous, quadrupedal dinosaur? Do we really have to go for Godzilla again? Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a cool Godzilla. But kaiju, you make a compelling argument. Like, it is still a good kaiju. Exactly, Dr. Zeus. I think it would look cooler if it was on all fours. But it is still cool. I feel like Aron would try to tell an awkward joke at the water cooler that no one would want to talk to him for the rest of the day and also judge his political opinions. Okay, sure. I love this headcanon of Aron as the awkward office worker. Yeah, I think, where did I put Rhydon? B tier with Kangaskhan? Yeah, this feels kind of in that Rhydon Kangaskhan. Just like, okay, yeah, I've seen this song and dance a lot. Let's do something else, guys. I do think it does this song and dance better than Rhydon or Kangaskhan does. That's just why it's at the top of this tier. But it's it could be better. Meditite. This one's interesting, because it has that kind of weirdness of fighting-type Pokemon, but they do something smart by combining that with the kind of weirdness of Psychic-type Pokemon, which almost kind of cancels it out a little bit. Dips into that otherworldly kind of charm that the good Psychic-type Pokemon have. Which for me makes its humanoid appearance a little less weird. Like, it's nowhere close to Abra or Ralts. But, like, I still appreciate this little guy. I'll put him next to Makuhita. I love Makuhita. Diaper baby garlic. That is true. That is true. It does have some very interesting little... Oh, don't like that right there, though. When you see it standing straight up, that's... Don't like that. As long as it stays in this pose. As long as it stays in this pose, I'm good with it. So, logically, as soon as they went to 3D models, the Pokemon Company ruined it. Because that's just always what happens. Because, of course, they do. It always happens. Yeah, no. Dropping down a little bit. A lot, actually. I like the Acorn more than that. Right there. Okay. And then Medicham. Like, obvious, kind of gypsy-esque, like, belly dancer-esque vibes. Those are two completely different things. Scratch that. I don't particularly love the weird blorp at the top of its head. As well as the random ear flaps. There's a lot of weird pieces to this one. Which I'm not especially fond of, because I feel like this kind of design could have a lot of various fun accoutrements when if kind of blended into more of a creature design. Like, I'll use Ludicolo as the obvious example of this generation. I like to imagine its pants are a weird creature slowly absorbing its body. Now see, if that was the case, this would be amazing! Any Pokedex entries, or is it just... Nope, it's a fighting type Pokemon. Which means it has to have just like, oh yeah, it does the thing. And it's able, like, this is Dalsim. Without any of the neat Dalsim stuff. Also, really don't like the constant kissy lips. Those are weird. Not fond of those. Alright, I'm gonna keep using Blaziken for all of the humanoid Pokemon. It's just like, okay, do you do this better or worse? And you definitely do it worse. You know, I do think I at least like it more than Baseline, now that I'm looking at them side by side. At least this thing doesn't look weird when it moves. At the same time, that hat is very weird. I do like the onion head more than I like that hat. What about here? Nah, I like Nincada more. I like Nincada more than... Actually, Nincada, get back up here. You're a bit bizarre. Incomplete, but you're still fine. No, I would never use this as a Pokemon. I might be tempted with it. Well, would I even be tempted with Meditite? I don't think so. No. Is this good? Okay. There we go. Okay. Dropping them both down to C tier. Just doesn't do enough for me. Electrike. Are we doing Megas? I'm going to do Megas on a completely separate video. Like, cover them all at once. Because I feel like when you're judging Mega Evolutions, you should be judging on completely different criteria. Because they're different design goals for them. I don't like Electrike. This is somewhere in here. It's just a lightning Pokemon because it's got lightning bolt patterns, and that's literally it. It does have the weird elongated crest, which is a little interesting, but at the same time, it's just one of those... no. I am lightning because I have lightning patterns and I'm spiky. Fear my power. Something like that? Yeah, something like that. Manectric, same problems, and it also just looks kind of weird. Like, what is this absolutely bizarre... like, Eastern European helmet we've got here? What is going on there? I don't like the weird tail. These super bizarre, just tufts of lightning fur, but only on its hindquarters. The design's just messy. I don't like this one at all. I'm putting this in frustration. Like, at least Electrike is simplistic. I can kind of respect it for that. This is too much. This looks like a Pokemon that was added in later generations. Well, no, that's not true. The Mega looks like the Pokemon that was added in later generations. Nah, too much. Not fond of it. I think I like the cocoons, but no. Do I? Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't get down to E tier for me, at the very least. I can say that. But it's... No. No, thank you. No, thank you. Plus one minute. 2 on the nose. I liked Pichu in the last gen, but these... For what you can do with electric charges, like I'd use like Magnemite and Magnezone, you can have some fun there. These are just... Oh, fuck yes, I love this theme song. Am I wrong for feeling like this is the best, like, evil team leader theme song? For Team Aqua and Team Magma, especially in the remake. Just, oh my gosh, the moment those timpanis start to play, just, oh, it gets my blood pumping. I would criticize these the same way I'd criticize these. Like, it's just, where these are just cats, these are just Pikachu clones, and that feels about as bad. I can't put them much lower, because at the very least, like, they're still functional designs. Like, you can still look at these and, like, oh, see, like, oh yeah, it's cute. Little charges is kind of fun, but they're just derivative. In the same way these are derivative of real animals, these are just derivative of an actual Pokemon. And then as good as the other bugs in this game, I might even say that this has the best bugs of the entirety of the Pokemon series. Like, this generation just knocks it out of the park. Illumise and Volbeat are just... They took a wrong step out of a little Disney short cartoon and found their way into Pokemon. It's just... nothing about these... You know what? Actually, I would want to trade these. I don't like either of these. I prefer the over-designedness of Exploud to just... Why do you exist? Actually, no, I can put not even more, because they took the Firefly design, which could be so cool for a fire bug, and wasted it on these pieces of shits. Ah! Illumise was your... Oh, yeah. I remember you saying that story. Yeah, I was complaining about getting Delibird as my first shiny. And you're like, no, it can be worse. And you were right. It can be much worse. But yeah, no, these ones are garbage. Don't like them. Roselia is neat. Just this... Taking this, like, little grass sprite, growing flowers. Again, out of a Disney cartoon, but in a good way this time. Bug Electric makes more sense to you? Well, yeah, that's the regional variants. Like, you got the Bug Electric in the one area, and you got the Bug Fire in another. You can have a lot of fun with that design. You can have a lot of fun with these two right here. These could have been the Bug Fire and the Bug Electric, but they're neither, because they're just there. Anyway, Roselia, it's fun. Yeah, I think it's in the same... One of those times where I think the humanoid-esque design works is when they're trying to go for more of that kind of Fae-ish design, which Roselia tries to do and absolutely nails. Gives the vibe of this tiny little creature that you could find nestled in the brush that's just causing the plants to grow around it. It's fun. I like it. Gulpin. What even is Gulpin? Maybe based on a stomach? Sure. What if we made a Pokemon based off of a human organ? And gave it this weird black triangle on its butt for no reason? The whoopee cushion of Pokemon. I don't even know what to say about this one. This might be the first F tier of this. It doesn't do... What are you? It's like a slug you suppose... Yeah, sure. It's... I don't know. It's just weird. Swallow has a little more going for it. I like the mustache at least. It's something. But again, just... What are you? Bulbapedia doesn't even know. It's just mouth. You both go down here. You could remove these Pokemon from the game and nobody would remember them. Oh, Carvanha's neat. What a sick piranha design. Like, I don't have much more to say about that. It's just a cool design. Doesn't quite have that extra special sauce. You know what? What am I doing? Sceptile, get up there. If Shiftry can get up there with the weird feet, you can get up there too. With your strangely square tail. You're cool, Sceptile. I love you. I'm sorry for putting you lower for so long. But yeah, Carvanha's just cool. You can tell it's a dark type Pokemon, and I appreciate it for that. Sharpedo commits just a little too hard to being a torpedo for me. Just a bit. I do love how the gills around its eyes also kind of double as engines. That's a really cool touch. Actually, let me see some sprites on this. I've only ever seen the 3D models. Yeah, that's a bit better. Honestly, even the 3D models are kind of cool. It feels just a little too compact to me. Just a hair. Like, this looks much better. This looks good. You know what? No, it's still cool. It's still cool. I definitely don't like it as much as Carvanha. Maybe like a... Yeah, about right there. Right there. It's still cool. I would just want it to be a little... Just a little less cartoonified. And it'd probably get to S tier easily. I love that the legendary Pokemon theme is playing when we get to these two. How... This is almost Diglett levels of just, okay, this is just a goofy, memey Pokemon. But it's not the oversimplistically design of that kind of point. It's also just, okay, what if a whale was a blimp? And that's kind of hilarious. Oh no, I remember 8-Bit. I remember. It's just the Hindenburg. I name it Hindenburg every time I get one. Best legendary monster? Oh, 100% agreed. Those bells. Oh, I love those bells. I think... this is fun for a lot of the same reasons that Quagsire is fun, you know? It's very simple, but it's just fun. It's just a goofy little guy. And then it evolves into the most glorious blimp you've ever seen. One of those Pokemon where just the sheer size of it does so much for it. And, like, I don't think I can... Like, it would be blasphemy to put it any lower than S tier, right? I'm not putting you above Mudkip, though. Something like that. Yeah, something like this. Like, it's a single joke and punchline, but wow, is it a good joke and punchline. Numel. I think about Numel so little. I have no idea what I feel about this Pokemon. Oh yeah, it's got the really weird single... Okay, first I need the Pokedex entry, because if this is like a nice... Okay, well, the Pokedex doesn't explain it, but I assume this is a precursor. The little hole is a precursor to Camerupt and literally being a volcano. It's a little too simplistic for me. I think somewhere... Like, it's kind of cute in that dopey way. But yeah, that doesn't... this one doesn't do much for me. Camerupt, though. That's so cool. Just taking the idea of a camel's humps and just asking, okay, what if there are volcanoes, though? Camerupt's so cool. That is an S tier fire ground. Doesn't quite beat Aron, because the weird 3 circles on its side, I've never understood those. Kind of feel very plastered on. Unless, are they supposed to be portholes, I guess? Is this supposed to be some sort of weapon? I'm kind of curious now. Does the Pokedex say anything about that? Humps, no circles. Ooh, I like that. Little entries like this. Humps are formed by bones. Is there any mythological reason for the rings? Yo! Oh, I've never seen a shiny Camerupt. That's so cool. That is a great color scheme. Camo, this time's based on a carnival game when hitting a target? As presented in the historical mystery tour episode of the Pokemon anime? What? Sure! Why not? It's also a carnival game. That makes sense. Oh, Torkoal's even better! Gosh, they made Camerupt and they're like, you know what? I don't think we did enough here. We can do one better. Just this super sick magma turtle kind of deal. Ah, it's so good. I think that sprite does it the best justice. Just seeing the smoke billow off of it, like the 3D model kind of ruins it, but like the here... So this looks genuinely intimidating. Like you feel like you need to get away from it because it's about to erupt. So cool, so cool. Spoink. How do I feel? Something has always drawn me to this Pokemon. I have no idea why. Because I don't think it's that particularly interesting or good. I think it's an overly simplistic design. The Pokédex entry is hilarious. Or else, if it stops bouncing, its heart will stop and it will die. But like, what? I guess it's just extrapolated on a pig's curly tail. Like, is there some... It may also be based on the biblical phrase, "Neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you." Sure, why not? I appreciate it for its dopiness, but it feels a little... just a little off. Underdesigned, even. Like, I don't hate it. Somewhere right there? Yeah, somewhere like there. Grumpig actually does something with the design. Although that expression is immediately losing points for me. Ugh. But it kind of gets into more of a like a goblin-esque gremlin kind of deal. Again, the Pearls of Wisdom is such a pull, and I kind of love that. Any Pokedex things? Appellate Psychic Polyways. I do love channeling psychic energy through jewels. Oh, ugh. Don't like 3D models. The more I look at it, it kind of extrapolates off the bouncy theme by just kind of bouncing from one foot to the other as it stands. Nah, I'm not feeling this one. For how weird Spoink's design is, I'd want something weirder. I think this is like here-ish. Yeah, somewhere in that D tier. Does anybody have strong thoughts about Spinda? It's such a weird little pocket of Generation 3 that there's technically... What is the number? I think it's in the millions, right? Oh no, it's in the billions! Because since the spots are randomized, they're just completely different. So no two Spindas are the same. You know what? This is one of the rare instances where I think the 3D models actually improve this thing tremendously. Because as soon as you see this thing drunkenly just sprawling all over the place, it's got some charisma to it. It's got some charm. Doesn't really have anything past that point. it's also the perfect Pokemon to learn Dizzy Punch. Let's run to a speedrun for identical Spinda percent. Ugh. It's 4 months of time. I don't want to quite put it in this level of fun tier, but like it's got charisma. I enjoy it. Somewhere like there. Like it's fine. Got something in my eye, sorry. It's an eyelash or something. And it is not coming out. Ugh. Trapinch. I like this line. I feel like Trapinch is just a little too simplistic. Let me see some sprites. Yeah, it's just mouth. Just a little chomper, and it's a very cute chomper, don't get me wrong. I believe it's based off of... yeah, an antlion. Problem is that this doesn't really look like an antlion at all. I kind of get the idea they're going for here. It's just like, okay, this thing burrows down, waits for prey to fall into the little hole, like, you know the little, like, funnel that antlions create, but instead of, like, having stingers or feelers, it's just mouth. It's kind of a Carabides kind of vibe to it. But yeah, I'd put it like here-ish. I think Nosepass is funnier. That follow your nose compass is too good. But it is also cute, though. That's the thing. Like, it's so simplistic, but, like, the fact that its eyes look like it always has stars in its eyes is really endearing. And having a ring. Oh, it has a. Oh, that's fun. That does give points. Because if you have a arena trap, you literally can't leave the antlion's den. Okay, okay. Here, maybe then? Or should I just put it up with fun? I'll put it up with the fun ones. Vibrava, why aren't you a bug dragon? First of all, you're literally a dragonfly. But this, I've always loved the really weird trapezoidal wings there. I know I'm not fond of, like, overly geometric designs in Pokemon, but this one really does something for me. I really like Vibrava. I think maybe here-ish. I don't think you're quite as funny as Pelipper. But then you get to Flygon. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Literal dragonfly that is a dragon. That is, go, get it right up there, my friend. You are so cool. I love Flygon so much. Little weird that it's... actually, why is it ground? Is it just because it's based off of the antlion? Oh, Sans. Okay, okay. No, yeah. I'm following. It's a Sandberryoth. Okay. Also love the little extra tidbit of the wing flaps sounding like singing. That's really fun. Cacnea, unless there's some, like, specific no. Like, okay, it's a cactus jack-o'-lantern, I can kind of see that, but this one is just a little too stubby. I think I'd almost like it more if it didn't have arms, Or maybe if it had, like, them all over its body, make it into, like, the Clutter Needle for Kirby, where it just kind of rolls around on them. It is another one that I really like I feel like the 3D sprite gives it some nice bit of personality to it. But... it's somewhere in here. It rolls a new snap? Okay, okay. Yeah, like, if it went for more of a tumbleweed-esque kind of deal. If you throw a fruit at a rolling one and snap, the fruit sticks. That's fun. I do love that. Well, it does kind of have that gremlin-y vibe that I really appreciate. Do I feel better about here, maybe? Yeah, I think I feel a little better up here. Yeah. You know, the answer here might be just... Yeah, I think I like the goofiness of these a little bit more than the basicness of Tailo here. Sure. Okay. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Cacturne. Really off-putting proportions. I can have... It does kind of have like a Scarecrow. Oh, yeah, it's literally the Scarecrow Pokemon. I should probably read first. But it looks... It looks inflated, like this is a balloon or something, which is the last thing I should be thinking about some kind of cactus-esque Pokemon. Yeah, again, it's just I can only really grab from Scarecrow inspirations, which just, I do love this. Oh, that little Trozei picture right there. If you built something off of this... If it was more like, think Fiddlesticks from League of Legends, if it was really spindly with the spikes, that would be so sick. But this thing's eaten way too many sandwiches. I just don't... Like, look at that! It's wearing a Halloween costume that just doesn't fit it. Especially if the Pokédex entries are all about, like, it chasing after prey. You know what? I think this is down here. No, this is down here. I don't hate it as much. Well, I don't even hate either of them. They just... It disappoints me. There's a really cool idea there. And it just doesn't... Nope, doesn't stick the landing. Swablu's adorable. Love this little bird. The clouds as wings aesthetic is really, really cool, and I wish more Pokemon would use that. It's such a perfect way of making a flying type Pokemon more than just bird, you know? You know what? I think I might actually... Yeah, you know, I think this is an S tier for me. I like Swablu. Here, maybe? There? Yeah, there. And then Altaria is just the same, but more, and it's also a dragon now for some reason, and that's really, really cool. Does get... Like, I'm not gonna judge it based off of this, but the 3D sprites look so awful. I hate watching this thing flap its wings in 3D. You compare it to the sprites, and it's just got this cloud wreath around it. That thing's gorgeous. That thing exudes confidence. This is just a chicken stuck in clouds. But Base Altaria? No, Base Altaria is great. That's an S tier. About right there? Yeah, about right there. Yeah. I think Cloud's Wings is so specific that they try to do it again, people will just say it's copying the swab. Well, you say that, but think about how many times they've, like, used spiky fur to communicate electricity. Or just a flame pattern to communicate fire type. I think you could easily get away with some more cloud motifs on other Pokemon. Like, they do occasionally do it from time to time. Like, going back to the Gen 2, Raikou has, like, a storm cloud on it for electric. And that's another good way of doing it. Zigzagoon? No, not Zigzagoon. Zangoose. Goodness. Z's. This looks more like a Sonic character than a Pokemon. Like, this is some weird, edgy rival to Knuckles that shows up. This is a Digimon. No, yeah, that's true. I do very much enjoy the, like, lore tie-ins between Seviper and Zangoose. I really wish Pokemon did that more, just explained more how creatures interact with each other in the wild. I will give it significant points for that. That's something I really wish was a thing in the design of these Pokemon more. Okay, that's not bad. Right there. You see them hunched over, and it's not just humanoid. It's just when they're standing straight up. They look so weird. Like it's like posing for a school photo right now. Also, wow, just the 3D model tail just looks like... Compare that to the sprite. This looks like a completely separate object. The stripes are scars? Well, then how does the... How does the ear... Like, I guess the fur's supposed to be blood in that case? There's an idea. Oh, well, we'll start with Blaziken. So I don't think it does the bipedal kind of Pokemon as well. But the lore tie-ins are also fun, though. Let's jump to Seviper for a second. We should be judging these together. And, like, Seviper is so much more fun, is the thing. Like, this is, like, putting these two together. Like, yes, there's a rivalry there, but one of them is so much better. Like, after being kind of disappointed with Ekans before and wishing that Arbok evolved into something more, Seviper's great! I love the huge bladed stinger on the back, the fangs are super pronounced, it's got a lot of personality, I love the patterns. It's not quite the Arbok evolution I would want, but it's still a very, very good snake. I'd put it, like, I don't know, up here? Next to Gravana? It's a... You know, no, I might even... Would I? Nah, Seviper's just a great design. I love this thing. It's so cool. It's a really sick snake. And then, I wish Zangoose competed. Also, Zangoose is the rare normal type that actually feels like a wild creature instead of goofy guy. I mean, you say that, but I look at this thing and I just feel like I'm looking at a 12-year-old who just bought a fursuit who thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. And that's just not that impressive to me. Hold on, I hit the end of the playlist for the music. And let's get Omega Ruby. I'm just gonna shuffle the playlist for that. 1 second. The OST playlist. Why is this so hard to find? Oh, alarm. Turn off Omega Ruby OST? There we go. I shouldn't be searching by Gen 3. Okay, here we go. Play all. Shuffle, and then just skip to whatever's next. There we go. Okay, where was I? I really would, like... No. I think that's about where it lands for me. I appreciate the idea it's bringing to the table, but I need like 40% less Fursona from here. Like, I feel like you just took Obstagoon's design and put it here. I love it so much more. Like, give an Obstagoon Zangoose's scars and put it up against Seviper. That's a rivalry I believe here. It's bipedal in the anime? Yeah, I mean, it's quadrupedal in the anime? That'd be much better. Yeah. Oh, what if there was a moon, and what if there was a rock? I mean, a sun, that were both rocks. That's literally it. I do think it's kind of fun to have, like, stellar Pokemon. And they're kind of based off of the sun and moon, but then again, how do you get that from... I mean, like, they are what they are. I'll agree with you there. I do like Solrock's eyes. It's definitely the better of the two. I think I can easily put Lunatone, like, I think right here. It's fine, but it's just... It's just a hunk of rock that's shaped like the moon. Unless there's some, like, Pokedex thing. Meteorite fell. It's reactive on a full moon, even though it's not shaped like a full moon. Yo, how has there not been a Pokemon that's linked to lunar phases like this? Like, if Lunatone was a Pokemon that actually changed based on the phase of the moon, that could be pretty neat. But this is way too literal for really me to really feel anything about it. Solrock does at least have some presence to it for the coloration. Like, I get the vibe this thing is psychic, and I appreciate that. Oh yeah, that's true. Solrock is perpetually sleepy and Lunatone is wide awake. That is fun. What would he be during a new moon? Dead. He'd be a ghost-type Pokemon. Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun. Oh, right! The Ursaluna does that. Well, I'm talking more of like a cosmically designed Pokemon, though, that actually tried to, like, tie itself to the lunar phases. Like, its design actually shifts. Actually, does Ursaring's design... Like, does the moon pattern on it change depending on the lunar phase? I don't know. Soul Rock... It's a neat rock. If I found this rock, I'd be impressed. I'd probably keep it. It can be next to Neat Bird. Barboach is just a fish. I'm pretty sure it's literally just based off of... Yeah, it's based off of fish. It does get some fun things with, like, the catfish design later, but basic Barboach, that's very middle of the road. Just, yep, you are a fish. Well, it is a nice fish, at least. I like the pattern, I like the coloration. Oh, yes, this theme. I mean, it's just Gen 4. Why is this in this playlist, actually? Oh, it's because you fight all the legendaries in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Second that piano starts playing. Ugh, so good. Yeah, I'll give it a little more. It's better than Numel, at least. It's better than Rock. Better than Spoink. Doesn't quite beat Linoon for me. But it's a fish. It succeeds at being a fish. And then we have Jabu Jabu. Very common catfish myth. And, like, you know, it's good. Goofy little W on its forehead like it's a superhero has always amused me. Has nice color. It is just a fish. Like, it doesn't... I don't feel like it goes nearly hard enough with the... like, the mythological inspirations that are often tied to catfish in Japanese mythology. Like, it's just a catfish. But it's a good catfish. I put it, like... next to good bird. Yeah, right there. That feels good to me. Corfish has the unfortunate status of existing in a series that has already had Krabby and Kingler, and those two are so much better. This thing's too dead-eyed to me. I'll give him points for trying to give it, like, a different body structure. Anything fun on the Pokedex? Using Barnard's Pest and turn up in the wild. That's some fun. Based on how invasive species crabs can be. Yeah, it just has crab. Is crab. Grabs things with pincers. Does the crab stuff. And it's based off of crayfish. Okay, yeah. That is... It has some charm in how dopey it looks, but again, it's just the same kind of vibe as Krabby, but worse. Somewhere right there? Yeah, somewhere like right there. Chrono tries to do something. It's bizarre, but I kind of appreciate this. It tries to go in a different direction by being more of an intimidating, kind of gross Pokemon. I do like that. Any fun Pokedex stuff for it? It is angry, loves to battle. Throws other Pokemon out of its pond. Does the blue part open for a mouth? I have no idea. Where this thing's... Oh my... Okay, hold on. I end up zooming on this. Look at this thing's eyes. That's some Attack on Titan eyes right now. Right there. Just burrowed into its head. That's... You know what? It gets points for that. That's intimidating. I don't hate it. It's a bit odd. I don't get the star at all, but I don't hate it. There's something there. There-ish. Something like that. Yeah. Something like that. Okay. Baltoy's just neat. Another fun way of doing a Psychic-type Pokemon. What were the things it's based off of? Yeah, these balancing... I'm not going to try to pronounce this because I can't. But I do enjoy what they're based off of. Just this kind of top constantly spinning. It really fits a Psychic Pokemon. I think it is very good. Something like this. Yeah. Star's there because the deck says it's evolved to mimic Sharpedo? Yeah, but Sharpedo doesn't have a star, though. I guess it's got the little X. Kind of just mentally debating if I want to put it in S tier. I don't think it does quite enough to reach S tier to me, but that might just be because I know that Claydol exists, and Claydol is such a creepy extrapolation off of Baltoy. It takes the same vibe, but turns into this very ominous, like, all-seeing, weird clay doll thingamabobber. Literally the clay doll Pokemon. Yeah, this thing's got some serious vibes to it that I really appreciate. Spin the doll, and where it lands will decide your fate. Yeah, something right there. Cool Pokemon. Oh, and then we get to the Dick Flower. Huzzah. all the same stuff I've been saying about fossil Pokemon still applies. I wish they did something more. I get the anemone kind of deal. And having like this weird creature eyes in the center of it is okay, but well, I do very much enjoy the sprite of it like looking like it's trying to eat something. That gets some vibes. But watching the 3D model sway around just looks... Ugh. Gosh, where do I even put you? There's some stuff to its design that's kind of interesting. At the same time, it's just weird, and I don't like the fossil Pokemon that much. Here's a question about the fossils. Is it better for these guys to be like weird, ancient weird, abstract instinct creatures like Laleep, or would you rather it just be dinos like the later gens? Good. I don't want the dinos. Like, absolutely not. Like, there's so many other Pokemon. Like, we got Tropius right here, for example. Like, what separates the fossil Pokemon from things like Tropius? There's nothing. The fossil Pokemon designation is this meaningless, trite thing. I think I've explained this before, but I'd want fossil Pokemon to feel more primordial. Like there's... Like, take the idea behind titans in certain mythologies. Like, these are living embodiments of whatever. Like, where most Pokemon are more creature than elements, I want fossil Pokemon to be, like, elements in the forms of creatures. Like, they're barely taking shape into natural... Oh, yes, this is Zinnia's theme. Oh, this is such a good theme. But does that make sense? I'm trying to think of, like, examples. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Well, like, past... Nah, it's kind of the same thing. I think Paradox are fine, but... One second. I'd want something like a Nivea, maybe. Where it's literally just an element that's sprung to life, and it's just this super imposing, terrifying... Or maybe like a few Monster Hunter Elder Dragons. I'd want a Phoenix that's more fire than bird. I don't know. I need to think more about this. Oh, no, I know. The Titans in the Disney movie Hercules that are just living embodiments of terrifying natural disasters. Can I take a Pokemon twist on that? That's what I want from fossil Pokemon. Anyway, Lileep. I think what it's trying to do is more interesting than the weirdness it's got going on for it. I'll give it points for that. Doesn't beat the Acorn though. No, sorry. Well, no. No, I want more from this. Hold on, let me run Cradily. Do you have any fun... captures prey unawares using 8 tentacles. Another thing with these two specifically is that it's such a... It feels so overly simplistic. Like, if there was some, like, actual, like... appendages anchoring it into the ground, I think I'd like it a lot more. Also, in this case, I think I'd like it a lot more if the tendrils were actually coming out of its mouth. Like, these aren't even long enough to reach the mouth. I think I like Cradily less than I do Lileep. Right there, I think. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. You don't get how Cradily hunts? Isn't it so obvious? It's just, it uses its mouth to do mouth things. I don't know. I look at most fossil Pokemon, and I can think of like 10 other ways you could do something cooler with the same design. Anorith's okay. Like, kind of my similar problems I've had before, but at least this one is... Actually, where did I put Kabuto? It's almost kind of the same deal with Kabuto. Yeah, middle of B. That's a middle of B. Like, I would want more from a fossil Pokemon, but this is fine. This is fine. For what the fossil Pokemon are trying to do, I wouldn't be too disappointed if I got that. Armaldo... let me see some sprites from you, because you've always been kind of a fascinating design that I can't quite figure out. Got these weird, like, feathers poking out of its side, or also this beetle-like carapace. Give me some sprites, give me some sprites. "3D models do not do it very good justice." Like, look at its imposing presence from just the dopey-looking stance it's got there. I do enjoy the kind of bug dinosaur-esque combination here. Oh, yes. Okay, now we're talking. Look at that. The Pokemon Conquest render. That's sick. What is this thing? Contest oh, okay, I never did the contests. No, yeah, I'm feeling this. This is probably one of the better fossil Pokemon. What's the highest one I rank it as? Probably Kabutops? Yeah, probably Kabutops. I'll give this one more points. Because I feel like it's at least trying to do something interesting that's not just the bare minimum of, okay, we brought this thing back. It's a rock now. Here you go. This has got some stuff going on with it. I do wish it was a little... How do I put this? I'd want it to be a little more hunched with the pincers a little... Like, give it more of a praying mantis build, I think. Would really sell this a little bit more to me. It's got a little too... Charizard... Yes! Get music build. I'm gonna play this louder. No, hold on. I'm resetting this. Oh, those initial just 5 seconds is just like, oh, fuck, yes, let's fight, I'm down for this. And then... Ah, it's such a good theme! It's so good! Okay. Sorry, I got really hyped over that. What was I saying? Yeah, I think if you just had a little bit more... Just give me 20% less Charizard, and I'd be really sold on this. As is, it's still good. Still good. Oh, yeah. I love... What a great way to do the same kind of gimmick of Magikarp and Gyarados, but twist it in a completely different direction to do its own thing. Instead of power, doing beauty. And it works about as well. I really like this Pokemon. I don't think it's quite as good. Well, actually, hold on. Before I say that, does this have, like, an equal... No, it doesn't have the intense mythological ties that Magikarp and Gyarados do, but still having that kind of just Black Swan kind of story to it. I love these two Pokemon. Such good theming. Maybe, like, right here-ish. I can't put you above Steptile. That's blasphemous for me. Melodic again, though. Like, right here. Yeah, about right here. Like, Melodic, what a great way to, like, try to embody, like, a beautiful feminine kind of vibes to it without going full on just like, okay, this is just a really weird half-human Pokemon like they do in later generations. Like, it proves that you can do stuff like that without getting super-duper weird. I wish there was more, like, melodic inspiration in later generations. Cast form. How do I rank cast form? There's 4 different forms of it. Well, first off, having a Pokemon that changes with the weather is neat. Like, that's an interesting design gimmick. Why doesn't Cacturne have a Sandstorm form? Because that wouldn't fit well with its super overly simplistic design, which I think is my main problem with it. Is that it has a neat idea, but they went with, like, the most basic interpretation of that idea they possibly could have gone with. Yeah, exactly. It literally just exists for the gimmick. I think I'm gonna put the... I'm only gonna rank it individually. Oh, I forgot to move Mega Banette as well. Let's get you down there. You know what? No. I love the idea that's behind it. I wish it was executed in so many different ways. Yeah, no, that's an E tier. Kecleon is fun. Am I remembering correctly that this is another kind of obstacle-like Pokemon in the games? It's been so long since I've played Gen 3. Like, I think I'm clearly remembering just a moment where you have to like, get like a Sylph Scope equivalent, or maybe it literally just was a Sylph Scope to move one out of the way that's blocking a bridge or something. I don't know. But yeah, that sure is a chameleon. Shitty shinies. Yeah, it's literally an invisible wall Pokemon, which is fun. I don't think it's as fun as other, like, obstacle-based Pokemon or mimic-like Pokemon. Like Snorlax or Voltorb or anything like that. But, like, it's fine. I like chameleons. It's a chameleon Pokemon. I definitely like it more than Torchic. I like it more than Aron. But I think that's about as high as it could go. I think you could have had more fun with this design. And it's the idea of it being an invisible wall. Another one that kind of feels like they went with a bit of a bare minimum. Not nearly to the point of Cacturne, but still in the same way. There's one blocking... Oh, that's probably why I don't remember it, because it gets dealt with immediately. Shuppet and Banette. I think if I don't rank these at the top of the tier list, Pier will kill me. But thankfully, I do like these Pokemon. Like, Shuppet is a very nice, just basic idea of, like, oh yeah, creature with a sheet over its head. And some really good Pokedex entries. I love the Pokedex entries of Ghost Pokemon. Attracted by feelings of jealousy and vindictiveness. If someone develops strong feelings of vengeance, this Pokemon will appear in a swarm and line up beneath the eaves of that person's home. Like, it's just so fun! Shuppet can go... Thank God. Okay, because I was going to say, like, Shuppet is a little too simplistic to go... Kind of a Baltoy as vibe, but even simpler. I'd put it, like... You're like right here. I like Lomper's hat more. That's a fun hat. Like Shroomish's expression more. Right there. It's still an A tier, though. Banette, though? The zipper mouth. It's so fun already, but the zipper mouth is so cool. Banette generates energy for laying strong curses by sticking pins into its own body. This Pokemon was originally a pitiful plush doll that was thrown away. The Pokedex entries have always... Oh, wait, no. Okay. I see what happens. The Shuppets coalesce around strong feelings of vindictiveness, and they coalesce into the doll, and the doll becomes a Banette. Okay, I'm following. Minus points for all ghost Pokemon if they increase the likelihood of Duke's horror. That's not my horror voice. If you want a really good horror voice, you gotta try to talk while breathing in at the same time. Kind of get a Phil Sticks, like, see, it's just a scarecrow. You can really freak people. I love doing that voice for, like, zombies in D&D campaigns. It's so fun. A doll that became a Pokemon over its grudge from being junked. It is a little... Nah. So, some Pokédex entries make me confused about how the Shuppet to Bennett evolution happens, but even if you disconnected the two of them, it's still such a good design. Goes all the way up. Okay, now where in S tier, though? Oh, this is a... Okay, I gotta look at some lore real quick, because I love Sableye. Nah, I love it when Pokemon goes dark with its entries, and the fact that they have the balls to, like, just kind of suggests that, yeah, this was once a doll. Like, it's the dark timeline of a Toy Story story. Like, oh yeah, Woody was cast aside and forgotten for 30 years, and now he's back and looking for revenge. Like, that's just so fun. Alright, and we keep the train going, because I think Duskull's pretty cool, too. I think it's probably the weakest of the bunch. Like, it's just Skull. I do really like how it's not two eyes, but it's one eye that kind of just shifts back and forth across its eye sockets. That's fun. But I've never been fond of how do I put this? It gives the idea of smoke, but it's very... Its body feels very... How do I put this? Stable, I guess? Like, it doesn't feel amorphous in any way. It just feels like a really weird mishmash of just bits sticking out of it. It doesn't feel like a gaseous Pokemon. It feels too physical, you know? But even then, I still think it's fun. I still think it's good. It still gets A tier. It's just below Shuppet. Something like right here. I think bottom of A tier. Well... Nah, because I'm looking at these guys. Here. There we go. Okay. It's still fun, but it's a little too simplistic for my tastes. Then Dusclops is hard to rank because I know Dusknoir exists, and Dusknoir is such a sick Pokemon, so I'm always kind of just have in the back of my head that, okay, but I want to get to the next one, though. But again, just so many little fun lore bits. If it absorbs something, nothing will ever come out. Hypnotizing its foe by waving its hands in a macabre manner and bringing its single eye to bear. Seeks drifting will-o-wisps and sucks them into its empty body. It just eats Ghastlies. The grabby hands have always felt a little too goofy to be scary. But like, it's still got some creepy vibes, and I do really appreciate it for that. The wraps of cloth kind of give it mummy vibes as well. Still a good. Still a very good. I don't know if this quite gets S tier for me. And that might just because I know Dusk Noir exists. I know how much better the design gets. Dusk Noir is a Dusclops that gets promoted, going from an undead zombie without sentience to a big role as the Reaper. Why does it have a mustache? I don't know. It's gotta have a flap to open so it can absorb things. What would really make it better for me is if the eye wasn't an eye and it kept the Dusk Skull just kind of sunk in the hole and you could just see the eye moving inside of Dusclops' body. I think that would boost it up tremendously for me. But as it is, it's just a little too silly, and it doesn't quite give the vibes that I want from it. Still a good design, though. Still great. Tropius. The banana crest has always been so funny to me. It just has a banana beard. Just a banana beard. I do enjoy the super massive fronds acting as wings. That's neat. Oh, that's not a good picture. That's not flattering at all for the design. That's better. That's much better. It does feel a little naked. Like I feel like there's more you could do with this design. Oh, and the 3D animations for it are terrible. Most of the fighting Pokemon. Just, having those flying battles in Generation 6 really screwed over their animations moving forward. But, like, yeah, it's a Sauropod. It's fine. It's not as good as Meganium. Where'd I put Meganium? High A. Oh, that's a good point. It does look like it has a pilot's helmet. That's neat. Tropy is posing. I love it. I like the bird more. I like the fish more too. I like the Sumeressa more. I like the weird alien lady more. I like the skull. Yeah, about there. Like, I appreciate that it exists. I wish Pokemon would play with more dinosaurs outside of fossil Pokemon. It's another reason I'm not really fond of the fossil Pokemon design. It's kind of limits how Pokemon uses dinosaurs. So I appreciate the attempts, but I just kind of wish there's a little bit more. Chinchou exists. Chimecho, sorry. Is Chinchou the... Chingling is the little... What's the one that's... Whatever. So Chimecho... This is the bell, right? Yeah, it's just kind of a wind chime. Oh, wait, it's literally wind chime. Why am I not reading? It's fine. It kind of gets into that kind of mimic Pokemon-esque territory. It's not so much of a wind chime Pokemon that I like. It's not a cling. What's this? Klinglink? Klinkling? What's this Gen 6 Pokemon that's just a pile of keys? Like, it's not that bad. It's still clearly a Pokemon. I do kind of like the Japanese lantern-esque aesthetic to it. But it's just kind of there. But like here-ish. It exists. It's fine. Absol. I know... My hard region Street Fighter with this literacy level. See, I try to go off of memory when I'm trying to remember names of things, but those names get blended into my head. Like, where does Chinchou come from? Chinchou is the name of my sister's owlbear in D&D. So when that's why. So when I see things with like a lot of the same syllables, they kind of just blend into my head. Anyway, Absol. I appreciate the lunar flares to it, but... How do I put this? It feels like they tried way too hard to give, like, a goth girl hairstyle to a dog, and that weirds me out. Chinchou is the... Oh yeah, it is the pre-evolution lantern. It's also the name of my... of an owlbear, apparently. I made those two designations happen completely separate from each other. The owlbear's cooler. Yeah, but I do like... the kind... It's got that Grimm-esque mythology tied behind it, which I do really appreciate. You see the dark dog, and that means that disaster is afoot. You're going to die. But it's... It feels like it's trying too hard. You know? Am I wrong for this? I do appreciate the kind of yin-yang setup it's got going for its head. That's neat. That's a good way of putting it. It gives DeviantArt Furiosi vibes, but among those, it ranks very highly. I still think it's good. Like, it's definitely more... It just kind of weirds me out to... It does feel like an individual. Yeah. Like, if this was a legendary, I think I'd like it a lot more. But I do think the positives heavily outweigh the negatives. I think maybe there. It is a... You know what it is? It's a harbinger of the disaster that this sort of style would bring to later generations of Pokemon. It doesn't quite commit to them yet, but it's a sign of what's to come. I know that some people in my audience like draw in this style. I don't want to mean any disrespect to it. It's just on a fundamental level, I just don't like that art style very much. It feels like it's trying too hard to be edgy or docile or cool or aggressive. Like it always feels like it's trying too hard to be expressive. It's not a personal attack against it. It's just my personal preferences of what I value in art. Why not? You know, again, I kind of like how this generation handled its baby Pokemon, because why not is barely anything. But it actually does a few things to make it exist alongside Wobbuffet. I love that its arms are kind of just become little floofy hair, not air, but just little floofy hair tendrils. And it's so cute and cheerful. It trains in the moonlit nights by just squeezing into each other to be able to dole out powerful counterattacks. That's hilarious. Love the joke of why not's name? Absolutely. We're gonna design this, why not? Yeah, no, I love this little dude. This is an A tier. It's just fun. It's very fun. It gets over the fun tier into the very fun tier. Ooh. Finally getting some... Actually, is this like the first proper... I remember that being a thing. One second, I'm... Just a pop of curiosity. Yeah, this was the first pure ice type. That's insane to me. But you finally got one. And you know what? I like Snorunt. It's got the kind of... Oh, I don't want to say Inuit because I think it's something else. No, it's based off of something in Japanese. Okay. Japanese mythology. But, like, this little freezing spirit thing that's just constantly shivering. And, like, I really love those mythological ties. Don't think it quite gets up into shiny, into S tier for me, but it's a shiny. This is a shiny, for sure. Right there, kind of next to Baltoy. Glalie, though. Oh, Glalie's so cool. Get up there. It's not going to change much, but I do want to know if there, like, is a specific tie to it, or if it's just this weird, angry ice sprite. Some it's kind of Oni attributes. Also resembles it. Guys, did you know that this resembled a hailstone? This is important information that we need to put in the wiki. Nah, but no, Glalie's cool. Like, what more can you say? Spheal. Spheal is a seal. That's about all I can say, but it is a cute seal. I'll give it B tier. And I think I would probably put the rest of these in B tier as well. Because, like... Yeah, sure, they're ice Pokemon, but they're just kind of walruses the whole way through. It is better than Seal. You are right there. Like, this definitely has some charm to it. Like, you just look at it and you just can picture using it as a basketball and it having so much fun throughout the entire process. I think these all kind of land. Like, they're perfectly serviceable for what they are. I'll give Walrein some credit for actually having this kind of icy growth around its tusks. But even then, maybe like here-ish? Nah, I like the hat more. That's better. That's even better. There we go. But like, it's a good seal line. Turns into a walrus. It works. I can't say much more than that. It works. Ooh, that's true. Spheal being a beach ball shaped seal. That is genius. You know what? That is a solid point. I'll bump it up for that. Is it better? Yeah, I think that Charm beats out Walrein. Yeah, okay. Thank you for the feedback, Jumping Fool. I would have never thought of that. Get too laser focused onto the ice type and be like, no, yeah, just Beach Seal. That's just great. All good seals though. Like, I appreciate this entire line. Clamperl certainly exists. Like, what do I even say about you? Do you have anything? Clam does clam thing. It does indeed. Has a pearl that... Okay, the time the Clamperl, the psychic power, is decent-ish. Even though it's not a psychic-type Pokemon, because of course it's not. Well, it's a clam with a pearl in it. I call it Clamperl. Just give me enough and move on. Also, the bizarre evolutions. Like, how does that go to this? Or to this? I have... Wait. Hang on. What the hell? I've never looked at Gorbis closely. Why does it have mermaid breast cups? Oh, that's fun. I like that interpretation. Jumping Fool. The pearl is the baby and the clam part is a baby carriage? Okay, that's something. Okay, when you treat this as the father, the mother, and the daughter, that's better. That's much better. I think that even then, that only gets that to, like, low B for me. Like, there-ish. And then Huntail. Yeah, you are different. That is a very different expression. I'll give you that. Right, prey and swallows a prey whole. It's large. Okay, so it's kind of a gulp eel kind of deal. Which is why it looks so hideous. Yeah, that's good. It's not a wow factor, but like you can put 2 and 2 together and see what the design they were going for was. You're trying to do something. I'll respect that. Yeah, but you are also just... That's the thing, though. Like, it is a creepy deep fish, but, like, I feel... You could still push that so much further, and it's not even creepy, per se. It's just kinda... It's just kinda dopey. Alright, well, let me see some more sprites of it. Yeah, I'd want it to look scarier. I think that's what's holding it back in my eyes. Yeah. No, I think this is down here. I appreciate what it's trying to do, but at the same time, I just don't really... I'm not feeling it. There-ish. And then Gorbis I feel even less towards. Like, it's just the same idea, but less. Like, that's... I can't put it in frustration because I don't feel enough towards it to be frustrated by it. You are at least better than Nipple Creature. And Dick Flower. I'll put you right there. Yeah, just kind of indifferent to those ones. Oh no, Bulbapedia. Okay, no, we're good. Relicanth is hard to rank, because this is just a Coelacanth, but Coelacanths are so cool, and it does differentiate itself enough. Feel like a little more interesting. I love that they kind of lean into the fact that, okay, this is just a fossil Pokemon that's just still alive. Which, again, does frustrate me, because it proves that it's not just, like, the Pokemon professors going back and copying the Pokemon wrong. They're just all rocks. Because this one's here, and then you have the ones that are asleep in the anime. But, like, it's cool. It's only the thing it's based off of, but the thing it's based off of is really, really cool. Okay, I need to see a side-by-side of a Coelacanth. I think that's what I need. Just, how does it differentiate itself? Okay, no, yeah, it adds more fins. It has the obvious, like, rock head. Turns into more of, like, a watery battering ram. I'm kind of just trying to justify to myself to put it higher. But, like, it's good. I'll put it next to the other good fossil. How about that? No, thank you. That is an easy just. Oh, this is a literal Wonder Trait Pokemon. You get the scale, and then you toss it away. Oh, the Bagon line. Base Bagon. It's probably. I like the Pachycephalosaurus kind of design. I don't know what is this crest supposed to be? It's just supposed to be like an armored head. Is this literally a Pachycephalosaurus? Okay, yeah, Iron like skull. Okay, no, yeah, it is literally a Pachycephalosaurus, which is neat. No, you're definitely at least an A. This might be the first dragon you get, and you get excited about what it's going to evolve into. Because, like, Dratini is a very simplistic design. I guess Larvitar would be the equivalent in Gen 2, and it's, again, very simple design. But Bagon, you look at this thing and you just immediately know, okay, this thing's going to evolve into something that looks so cool later. Oh, what's the dex entries? It's 2 efforts to fly this process. Oh my god! I was looking for just a thing to explain it, Ted. I didn't read the rest of it. That's so funny! Oh my god! It just leaps off of cliffs, lands head first. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, get up there. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, okay, but now I need to know, how does this transition into Shelgon? Because Shelgon has always felt just nothing to me. It makes me stylish. So is this just a Chrysalis? Okay, no, so it literally just throws itself off of cliffs so many times that the shell just keeps wrapping around its whole body. Okay, no, yeah, this is fun. This is very fun. Where did I put Pupitar? There, it was an 8. Yeah. I think this one is 2. Like, it's just a cocoon, but it's a very good cocoon. Ah, well, you can make a better design cocoon than that. Put it a little lower. There. Still A tier, but low A tier. And then Salamence. I've never been fond of Salamance's single flat planed wings. It's still cool. Like, it's so hard to make a bad dragon in these. Do the Pokédex entries explain the wings? Magnificent. Sure. Firing wheels off spouting flames from its mouth. How about the sprite evolutions? Because I really can't stand how this flies, and it's just, the wings are just perfectly stable. That's always driven me insane. Like, why you no flap? How do you work? But at the same time, it's also just cool. Like, these look more like blades than they do wings. This one just kind of looks like a boring dragon. I think I'd prefer a more boring dragon, honestly. Like, if this had, like, a proper wing structure. Paradox... Oh! Oh, right! Oh, I want to look at that. Where is that? Because you were absolutely right. Paradox Salamence. Roaring... Yeah, roaring... Yes! Fuck! Oh my god, yes! Look at this thing. This is what I want! But this is... You know what I wish it evolved into? If anybody has played Monster Hunter, if you're gonna go with, like, the jet design, just commit into a Volstrax, something like this. Like, imagine a Bagon evolving into something like this. It's really just jet wings. That'd be so cool. As it is... Yeah, I'm not feeling... I think this one's just okay. Like, the bird looks more majestic than a dragon. Something's wrong there. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It could be better. It could be much better. But you know which was a pseudo-legendary that isn't? That, in that case... This entire line is so cool. Starting as these weird, like... For the same reason that Magnemite's cool. Just these weird, like, steel drone-like creatures. I've never actually read the... song, because if I understand this Pokemon correctly, it literally evolves just by piecing more of itself together. It does what Magneton should do. Well, it's an execute. Wow, I've been talking for too long. Clearly, it's an executor kind of evolution, where smaller creatures are trying to build together to create a stronger hive mind. And it's all so cool. Ending off with Metagross, which, There's nothing like this in the rest of the series. Something this powerful that's treated with this much respect. Just this weird armored tank drone thing. I think this is the best design in the Gen 3. I think they're all S tier, but I think Metagross is probably the coolest one in the entire generation. Nothing like it came since, and I wish they tried more things like this. Let me actually organize these properly. There, maybe. You know, actually, yeah, that feels good. That feels good. This isn't music. What is this? Oh, that's the cutscene for Groudon Awakening. And then we go from the coolest golem-like creature you could think of, and then you just get... that's... I guess that's a legendary, sure. I felt kind of disappointed by the legendary birds, but the rocks... Yeah, these are kind of just boring. At least the first two. Like Regirock, like... I think Lunatone's more interesting design-wise than this thing is. Is Numel's trying something? I like the crab more. Like, yeah, I mean, yes, it is a golem, but, like, that's it. And then you get, like, they try again with, like, the Golurk line, and that's so much better. It feels like the most basic interpretation of the idea that you could go with. I can say the same thing about Regice. The cries are good. I'll give you the cries are excellent. What are the Regis meant to represent? You know what? I don't actually know. Golems of Hebrew legend, yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe... That's interesting. Representing different eras of history? Which in that case, they kind of threw that out the door when they started adding more with Regidrago. Yeah, no, these two... They're there. Registeel does a bit more with the idea. I do like Registeel a bit more. Yeah, Stone Age, Ice Age, Steel Age is what the wiki's at least trying to toss them off as. And this one's at least trying something a little interesting. Like, this feels like something. Just this weird robotic drone kind of deal. And this one does feel a lot more fun when you consider, like, the implications of, like, okay, there's this steel golem that would be a kind of precursor to technology in the Pokemon universe or something like that. Like, there's something there. I like that. But again, I do wish they just did so much more. I think it most they're funny when given to fans. Oh, absolutely. Like, the terminal montage legendary battle where Registeel is just spouting off HK-47 quotes. That's hilarious. But his actual designs, like, they're just kind of there. Latios and Latias are essentially the same Pokemon. Kind of a Salamence vibe for me, where I just don't get what's going off their wings. Like, I get their planes, essentially. This is when I need an origin. Cross of a jet plane and an origin. For the philosophy of yin and yang. Jungle fowl. Ah... But only one of them ever... Oh god, right, that was a thing! The weird Ash, Lottie, something romance. I can't remember if it was Latios or Latios. Which one's the girl? Latias, okay. Worst megas? You don't like that they're the exact same, though? What's hilarious about them, the megas, is they don't even have both of them on here. It's just that they just bothered to put one. Also no Mega Salamence, actually, now that I'm looking at it. That just isn't here. I don't think I quite hate them, but they're not... They don't... For Legendaries... It's just... I'm learning Spanish. A is feminine, except for when it isn't. It's so frustrating. But you're right, I should have caught on to that. But for these two, I'd want more. Like, I literally just showed you what a jet engine dragon can look like. Latios and Latias. Okay, if they're supposed to be jet engines, they almost feel unfinished. Oh, it's a Safari Zone. I thought this was a Paper Mario battle theme for a second. But then we get to later, where... Like, some of the best legendaries. Like, without question. Kyogre is phenomenal. Such a cool take on just this embodiment of the ocean. Rising up to fight against the ground. It's trying to overtake it. I love the conflict in Generation 3 so much. It's probably my favorite actual story conflict in the Pokemon series. I think that team rivalry just works really, really well. About right here? About right here. That's fine. Groudon... I don't think it's as good, but it's still cool. It's always felt just a tad too geometric to me. But even then, I love just how clearly this is meant to be burrowing through the earth. Summoning it in Super Smash Bros. Brawl and just having it take up the entire stage is so cool. Yeah, shots like this where it's opening its mouth, it just feels a little too polygonal to me. But even then, I think that only knocks it down to, like, low S tier. It's still an amazing Pokemon. Yeah, and then it's just like... So, Jirachi. But, like, seriously, like, is it a basic-ass opinion to hold? Yes, but Rayquaza is just... What a sick design! This is so cool! And yeah, like, exactly, Jumping Fool. The conflict of, like, land and sea fighting each other in the sky coming down to stop their fight is just the best! Oh yeah, agreed, Dr. Zeus. Once he gets Omega Groudon and you can actually see magma flowing through it, it becomes a lot better. But basic Groudon just feels a little less. Exactly. Even being a so-so boss, it's still amazing. I'll never get tired of just seeing this thing just be animated. It's so cool. I love this style of dragon. I wish it was in more forms of media. Actually, what? No, it's in plenty of forms of media. What am I talking about? Okay, Jirachi... I mean, you literally wish upon a star. the Pokédex do any... It's just a genie. I think it's fine. It does... It feels ever so slightly... what's the name? Obligatory, almost? Like, you had Mew, you had Celebi, we gotta have something for here. Okay, here's Jirachi. Oh my god, that is an eye. Oh, that's cool. Okay, no, that bumps it up. That bumps it up. I didn't even clock that. Oh yeah, right there. I just breezed right past it. Okay, the stomach eye boosts it tremendously. Where do I put Celebi and Mew? Mew's A, Celebi's S. I feel okay with putting Jirachi A. Something like this, maybe? Yeah, something like that, something like that. Oh, true, that is absolutely the tradition of writing wishes and put... Because, like, it's got the Poké Centuries of being like, oh yeah, if you write a wish down and put it on its head, it'll make the wish come true. So I guess it can only ever... And it has 3 wishes! Oh, that's... Oh! Ooh, that's good. I don't quite feel... Well, very low S tier. I'll go with that. We'll go with that. Yes. Okay. And then Deoxys is... What do you want me to say about Deoxys? Deoxys is so cool. The concept of having the 4 separate forms that it turns into, the fact that it's so alien feeling, the rivalry it has with Rayquaza, being the guardian of the Earth between alien forces invading from a meteorite, I'm putting it higher. Deoxys is so cool. Here? Here. Yes. Yes. Fantastic alien design. Probably the best alien design that the Pokemon series has ever had. Okay. And that's all of them. It's funny. Going into this, I was a little worried. Because I know Gen 3 is my favorite. But there was this hesitation in the back of my head. Going like, yeah, it's good, but I don't know. Are the designs that great as well? But like, looking at this, like, no. Gen 3 has some absolutely banger designs. The average is starting to move a little lower, though. Like, in comparing to Generations 1 and 2. 1 centered in kind of the A to B. And 2 is pretty firmly, like, in the same place. Starting to get a little bit lower with the average. Not much, but kind of just in the B form. I think there's just a lot... Starting to get a handful of... I can't remember who said it earlier, but that there is a lot of just... They try to make a lot of cross... Like, some Pokemon in one game, some... I can't remember what you call it. Game-exclusive Pokemon? Sure, whatever. Version-exclusive Pokemon, there we go. And some of them just kind of fall flat. But when Gen 3 is good, Gen 3's got some of the best Pokemon in the entire series. Like, look at this menagerie of fantastic Pokemon. That's another good way to put it. It has the bangers where it needs to. The starters are great, the legendaries are great, and the pseudos are great. Also the bugs. Just a surprising number of bugs, and most of them are absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that has been the Generation 3 tier list. We are a third of the way done. At least, unless Pokemon releases Gen 10 before I finish all this, which I wouldn't put it past them. But yeah, I love doing this. This is such a nice, fun thing to do in my downtime. I appreciate it. It's a nice break from trying to study for college. But thank you all so much for joining.